down in the lounge, I feel this numbness creeping up my legs. They're turning into blocks of ice. I put on my slippers, but it doesn't make any difference. Our floor is made of this beautiful slate. It's fixed straight on top of some concrete, and that concrete isn't insulated. The thermal properties of the concrete slab means that it cools to the surrounding 12 degrees Celsius earth around it. The slate floor sees very little sun, so it never warms. Our guests play a game of the floor is lava, where their feet never touch the ground when they're in our living room. I decide that the best option is to demolish the house and build a new home with a well-insulated concrete slab. Did you know that 10% of your building's heat could be escaping from right underneath your feet? If you want to have a warm, dry, cozy home, the first thing that you probably want to start with is a well-insulated concrete slab. In fact, if you're building a home right now, you'll find that recent regulation changes are going to require you to have a minimum insulation level as part of your concrete slab. The required insulation is going to vary depending on where you live in the country and what your climate is. So here's how you can construct a slab that will keep your house nice and cozy. First, start with a well-compacted, level building pad. On top of that, roll out a damp-proof membrane that'll stop moisture rising up from the ground into your slab. Isolate the slab from the ground with polystyrene boards. On top of the boards, add chunky polystyrene pods with gaps between each pod. In the gaps between the pods, run rebar. The steel strengthens the concrete and prevents it moving and cracking. On top of the pods, lay out a steel mesh. When you pour the concrete into the insulation form, you end up with a grid of thick, reinforced concrete ribs. You can imagine why this method results in what is often called a waffle slab. Not only is the resulting slab with its ribs stronger than a uniformly thick concrete slab, but it also uses less concrete, so it's kinder to the planet. The concrete we're using for this pour is an eco mix. That means they substitute some of the cement for other materials like silt and ash. The first thing a good foundation needs is a good foundation. Earth movers come in, they dig out and then compact a level building pad. They dig a shallow trench around the perimeter of the pad and fill it with concrete. This creates the foundation footings for the concrete slab. The rebar is embedded in the footings, and later we'll use it to tie the footings to the concrete slab. We need to allow toilets, wastewater drains and electrical services that reach outside the building. To do this, we run conduit from outside the building pad and under the footings. The conduit terminates inside the building pad to a position specified down to the millimetre in the plans. 80% of the heat loss in the slab is around the perimeter, so we're using the yellow edge insulation. The electrical and plumbing penetrations will extend above the poured concrete pad and will reach under the concrete so that they can be accessed from outside the home's foundations. The first slab pour is the garage.
I heard 7, but we'll be awake anyway.
The garage is outside the thermal envelope of the house, so edge insulation is used to create a thermal bridge between the garage and the rest of the concrete slab. In an expensive nod to improve thermal performance, fibreglass rods were selected instead of steel to tie the garage concrete to the rest of the house. Is used to eliminate air bubbles in the concrete, making it stronger. A laser is used to mark a level on the slab. Build schedule has been slipping. To help us out, the concrete contractors are arriving on a Saturday morning before sunrise to start on the main slab pour. Even with the size of the slab, it'll be fully poured before morning smoko.